Well, good evening. Hi, friends, and welcome to another YouTube Live. Tonight, we're going to talk about your amazing power to adapt to change. And we know this because basically when we have time to do things, we tend to put them off. But when we're in an emergency state, it's amazing how many resources we have of our own to put into practice. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, because we're going through very, very rapid, dizzying change. And it's all about having the skills to cope with all these rapid changes, even though we're going through sadness and loss. And if you are going through loss, then I offer you my sincere condolences. Our established patterns and routines simplify our decision making, and now more than ever we're experiencing things, and we know that things can change at any moment. And this crisis has put a spotlight on the world and our world, and ripped apart our fabric of normalcy as we know it wide open, which is why we're having this discussion, and I'm going to share tips with you on this YouTube Live. So we're placed in a state of emergency, and we keep receiving conflicting news information, which kind of tips us off to the fact that there are things going on that we perhaps didn't know about. And what I want to share with you is my guidance as a claircognizant, which tells me that the past as we knew it is actually over. And although it can be something to grieve because we have lost a lot, it can also be something to look forward to as we go into a new era. And I believe that, or what my guidance is telling me at the moment, is that what is happening right now is a herald of things, many things to come over time. And in actual fact, what it's doing is preparing us and giving us the tools that we need to take forward. So it's nothing to be frightened about, although change is frightening at the best of times, and it is something that amplifies our anxiety. If you are feeling anxiety at the moment, I recommend you watch the video on anxiety relief on this channel, which has some easy tips that you can actually put to practice, okay? The other thing you can do, and that you're welcome to do, is book a free coaching session with me, and you can do that on the link below, and I believe the link is actually on the channel as well. Now, my own life path, and the path that I have chosen, if you're spiritual coming into this world, is to learn the lesson of actually overcoming obstacles, because I've had regular life changes, and in actual fact that has been the reason that my signature speech is actually obstacles to inspiration. And again, on this channel I have posted videos on tips to overcome obstacles. But we're going to talk about adapting to change and the skills for that, and I'm going to share some tips with you today. And just so that it helps you, my own life journey with regular life changes has been, for instance, having to move house a lot with a whole house full of furniture, or rapid change, going overcoming life changes like relationship breakdowns or health issues, or a combination of things. So I hope that helps you, because also being an actor, as is my trade, going from rags to riches and back, and being in situations that you wouldn't normally be in. It's been a lot of that in my life, and in actual fact it's actually made it quite exciting, and it's been the reason that I've gone on this personal spiritual growth path that I have gone on. And although I say this humbly, I have to say that this time through this coronavirus has actually been quietly the best time of my life. And the reason for that is, one, because I developed a course online called the Areti Goddess Events online program that actually gives women the ability to boost your confidence, access your purpose and passion, and the tools to start a business, especially online, which is perfect for the moment. And as a mentor coach, of course, again, it's perfect for the moment because I'm helping a lot of people. And in terms of dating, if you're single, well, it forces you to date virtually, getting to know someone before you jump into bed with them. So that can't be a bad thing, right? So that's the upside of what's going on. And what we know is that isolation has actually removed us from the rat race, which is something we complain about all the time. It has cleared the air because everything is deserted. And although that's really strange, going out to deserted places because of isolation and lockdown, it's given us a sense of serenity. Being at home has given us the ability to do things that we haven't had time to do. Also, being in isolation has made us more attentive to our relationships, and we appreciate each other even more now that we're forced to connect with each other virtually online. The other positives, I guess, of being in isolation is we've become closer because we now have a common enemy. So we've put our differences aside, both on a micro as well as a macro world level. All of a sudden, we have a new focus. We're improvising. We're creating. We're finding new purpose, new solidarity. So I'm going to move on now to the tips, and I have 8 tips for you. So tip number 1. Tip number 1 is to look forward, not down. If you look down, what will happen? Down you'll go. Okay, so look forward. Not on what you've lost in the past or the past you've lost, but what you can look forward to. Number 2, change your perspective from loss to creation. What can you create for the future? Do you now have the time to do something you've always loved, and can you do it online? Changing our cognitive beliefs, especially if you're a warrior and you think negative thoughts a lot, I encourage you to work on changing those negative beliefs. What you can do, though, in the meantime, is actually catch your thoughts. And if you're thinking about what you've lost or you're worrying, I encourage you not to watch the news too much, especially if you're suffering from anxiety. I encourage you to catch your thoughts if you're thinking about loss and if you're worrying and anxious and panicky. Change your thought at that point to something you would like to create. Because I can honestly tell you that most of us can easily reel off a list of things that we don't want. But when we're asked what we do want, it's a little bit harder to come up with. So start being creative and focusing on the things that you do want to create. The third tip I have for you is to ask the right questions. For instance, we can get really bogged down on all the information that we're overwhelmed with at the moment that is conflicting, and actually All the questions like, why is this happening? How is this happening? Why is this happening to me? None of those questions are actually helpful. What you're going to find helpful is the right question to ask. And the right question to ask is, this is what is presented to me right this minute, right at the moment. So what do I do now? When we actually look at something without judgment and we ask, what now, what next, that opens us up to the field of inspiration and we become resourceful. So asking the right question is a very powerful tip in overcoming any obstacles that come our way. Then tip number 4 is, if you love doing energetic work, to activate your power center or your sacral chakra, because that will really activate your purpose, your passion, your creativity, and your sexuality, your sensuality. So it's all about feeling and what we want and being creative and doing things spontaneously that are fun. So if you're interested in doing that energetic work, I recommend you watch the video Power, Purpose and Passion on this channel. Tip number 5. This is the perfect time to access your voice and share your unique talent online. There has been a 6% increase on online business. It's a time for people to come together in community and for us all to go into spirit, which is, how can I help? And every single one of us has a purpose, a unique voice and a unique talent that you can now share with the world. So that is my next tip for you. Number 6, be a source of positive impact. I don't think I need to say much more because I've already talked about being in spirit, which is how can I help, rather than ego, which is where we come from in the past, what's in it for me, okay? Number 7, learn from the past and decide, make a decision to thrive. What we can learn from the past is over consumerism, capitalism, all the things that broke our system down, and all the motivations we had, such as what's in it for me. The other fact to look at is, with other world crises in the past, there have always been people who have thrived. So this is a chance for you to get on the right side of history and decide that rather than be a victim to all these changes, you can make all the preparations, but you can also look at the amazing opportunities that are presented to us at the moment and thrive. And that is a decision that you can make. Number 7. Although we are in a state of emergency, the benefit of being in a state of emergency is that it propels us into action. It's like having a deadline. When you have a deadline, you have to meet the deadline. So this is an emergency situation, and because things are changing so rapidly, it's about being propelled into action, but being propelled into action from your center. So don't be reactive. Choose to be responsive. Center yourself always. Access all the information before you take action, okay? And my last tip today, number 8. I want you to take a moment and really reflect on how you have adapted to changes in the past. because you have. So if you can take a moment to look back and reflect at how you've adapted to change and the tools you used to adapt to change in the past, this will give you confidence to adapt to change more easily in the future. The main thing is to look forward, not to look down and not to look back, and just see all the inspiration, all the resources that are there for you. So with that, my friends, it is the end of my tips. I hope they empower you today. And for the Goddesses, don't forget that we've got our events are online with weekly coaching, and you're welcome to join us. It's super, super inexpensive for 3 months to get you through this time. And while I've got you, for the Goddesses, I'm going to pull out a Goddess card to share with you. So let's see what we come up with for this particular session on adapting to change, okay? I'm just going to pick one out at random and just see what we get. So what have we got here? I'm putting my glasses on because I can't see without them. Oh, isn't this amazing? We've got Aphrodite, the goddess of love. How cool is that? Aphrodite is most often described as radiant and shining. When Aphrodite is present, the whole world acquires a soft golden glow. Foam-born, she is associated with the creative, life-giving sea and represents a sense of freshness, renewal, and hope. A descendant of the prehistoric water bird goddesses of old Europe, she is often accompanied by birds. The goddess of both spiritual and passionate love, Aphrodite joins us to one another. She is feminine being in all her fullness, and her realm is that of relationship and feeling. Aphrodite demands maturity if we are to be in true relationship. When we embrace mature love, Aphrodite is there to bless us. And isn't that apt, that's Aphrodite there, that's the card. Isn't that apt, as I was talking about being single and the benefit of dating virtually at the moment and actually getting to know people so that you can have that mature love, that beautiful love that is born from a really good and healthy basis. So with that, my friends, I will say bye for now. I'll see you next time, and I wish you amazing success. And don't forget that you can contact me if you're having trouble, but I hope that these tips empower you to adapt to all these dizzying, rapid changes that we're going through. Bye for now.